What could happen if the Supreme Court agrees with Donald Trump on presidential immunity? In America's history, there were whispers, murmurs, and outright shouts about the shifting winds of justice. It wasn't just about Lady Liberty, but also about who held the scales and how they chose to balance them. Now imagine this. A verdict echoes across the land, a decision from on high, declaring that former President Donald Trump, and perhaps any president, is immune from prosecution. It's a thunderclap that ripples through the fabric of democracy, leaving a trail of questions and apprehension. But let's rewind a bit. This ruling didn't just materialize out of thin air. It was a culmination of a series of decisions that seemed to chip away at the very foundation of what it meant to be a nation governed by the rule of law. In the early days, there was the case of Shelby County versus Holder, a landmark decision that effectively gutted the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It was a blow to the heart of democracy, especially for African Americans who had fought tooth and nail for the right to vote. With the safeguards stripped away, voter suppression reared its ugly head once more, disproportionately affecting communities of color. 22 states have changed voting laws since 2008, with no proof of significant voter fraud. Then came Citizens United versus FEC, a ruling that opened the floodgates of big money into politics. Suddenly, corporations were people, and their dollars spoke louder than any individual voice. It was a slap in the face to those who believed in the power of grassroots movements, rendering the playing field uneven and tilted in favor of the wealthy elite. The age of the super PAC was born. One billionaire can finance a candidate's entire campaign. Fast forward to the present, where the highest court in the land drops the bombshell. Presidents are untouchable above the law. It's a ruling that sends shockwaves through the nation, leaving many wondering if the balance of power has tipped too far. And so, the stage is set. With immunity in hand, Donald Trump, or any future president for that matter, could wield unchecked power, laying the groundwork for a potential slide into dictatorship. Step 1. Consolidate power. With the backing of the Supreme Court, Trump could further erode the checks and balances that keep executive power in check. Purging dissenters, stacking the courts with loyalists, and neutering Congress would all be on the table. The system is broken, but I'm here to fix it, even if that means bypassing Congress, Donald Trump. Step 2. Suppress opposition. Donald Trump, the presidency has tremendous power, and I'm not afraid to use it to achieve my goals. With the judiciary in his pocket, Trump could weaponize the legal system against his enemies, using frivolous lawsuits and baseless charges to silence dissent and intimidate would-be challengers. Step 3. Control the narrative. With a compliant media and a judiciary unwilling to hold him accountable, Trump could spin any narrative he pleases, gaslighting the public into believing his every word. Truth becomes a casualty in the battle for power. Remember the big lie about the 2020 election that led to Fox News and Dominion reaching a $787 settlement over the election lie that Trump won? Step 4. Rewrite the rules. With immunity from prosecution, Trump could act with impunity, flouting laws and norms without fear of consequence. Executive orders become decrees, and the rule of law becomes a mere suggestion. Step 5. Cement control. With the levers of power firmly in his grasp, Trump could rig the system in his favor, ensuring that no future challenger could unseat him. Elections become little more than theater, with the outcome predetermined by those in power. And so the descent into dictatorship begins. It's a chilling prospect, one that harkens back to darker times in history. But it's also a wake-up call, a reminder that democracy is fragile and must be defended at all costs. For if we fail to heed the warning signs, we may find ourselves living in a world where tyranny reigns supreme. Remember that we, the people, have the responsibility to protect our democracy. Use your power and vote.
Support the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share.